Thank you, dear Prime Creator of all that is, for our ears to hear, for our eyes to see, and our voice to speak. Our foreseeing is a gift that allows us to co-create our future so that we are not aimless in our endeavors. It is our gifted choice, by virtue of free will, to style the future with our mind and ultimately make our destiny. But this is not the first step to our co-creation. Co-creation requires our insight, and that insight is seeing the absolute importance of going within, the place wherein you, Creator, dwell, the place where we imagine, where we find answers, where we utilize our dreams, where the only dependency is the self that is at once the container of you, Prime Creator. You know we must go within to see you, feel you, have true insight. And once seeing that, we realize with real eyes. And so it is.
So, hello. So how do you get there from here? Or how do you get here from there? And I think you have to make the conscious decision that you are not going to acquiesce to another infringement upon your unalienable rights. You're just not going to do it. You will not acquiesce. You will deny. You will do whatever is necessary, but you will not acquiesce. You will do your best. You can lose, but you won't give up. That's really hard. So if you make the decision that you're not going to accept any infringement, you have to know what your unalienable rights are. Or is it unalienable rights? And they had the choice when they made the decisions to write this down so that it was as they wanted it, not as somebody imagined it should be or could be. But they chose to do things like make it a confederation and not a federation. There's a difference. They knew the difference and they chose a confederation. And they chose a perpetual union. So there's a great deal of difference between a confederation and perpetual union, what we're supposed to have, and this federal dictatorship that they're running out of Washington District of Columbia, Inc. Forts, ports, and needful buildings. There are no forts or ports on Oregon that the feds are operating. And they have no needful building. The Marco Hatfield building, I've checked out. We know it's not a lawful building. It's not the United States of America. It's a business enterprise. It's maybe some kind of Article 1 court with Article 3 judges that are not legit. But I digress. How do we get there from here, or how do we get from here to there? What we have is a de facto color of law, state of Oregon being operated out of Salem. being honored by all of the courts in all of the counties as a state court in the county of. And it's all a business enterprise operated under Article 7 amended, a document that cannot be supported. There is no support for it. There's plenty of proof that it didn't happen, but there's no support for it. All hearsay and stuff like, oh, we had a fire in the courthouse. We're sorry about that. Doesn't work that way. Secretary of State has to do their job properly. Tobias is not doing it. Neither did the 6 before him. And Michael Kaplan's not doing his job. And neither did the 2 before him. We do not have a legit office of Secretary of State. That's fact. We made it a fact by doing the work. They didn't appear. They had the opportunity. We did it in Salem, on the plaza across from the State Building. Yep. There's a lot to be desired. And part of it is our peace, safety, and happiness. Article 1, Section 1. How do we get there from here? We have to go through the sheriffs. That's where we have to go through. If the sheriffs that are in place now that we know do not have their proper credentials in order, which is not amazing, but because the DPSST, what is it? We've tried several times to communicate with those people. They don't. I read about them in the newspaper. They keep having scandals, just like the Department of Corrections and the penal system. I know for a fact they're not legit. But I digress. How do we get there from here? How do we get here from there? We got here from there by accepting Article 7 amended that was brought to us in fraud. And fraud vitiates all contracts either partially or completely. We have to roll this back, and we cannot make a contract with the devil. We cannot do evil knowingly and intentionally. We cannot take a false oath to a document that we know is perjurious. It's bogus. It's a fraud. You can't take a false oath and be a man or a woman on the land and soil. You got to be something else. And we can only have men and women in office, providing for our peace, safety, and happiness. This is not a for-profit operation. It's called government. We are not the cash cow to feed government. It's all written down how you do it. This is not a retirable position. If you want to retire, go get a job. Invent something, make something, work, provide. And when you get to be old, you get to retire, maybe, if you live that long. How do we get there from here? You do not acquiesce to one unalienable right. We got a bunch of deputies. If you said that to them, they'd have to contact an attorney to see what they think. They specifically told me that they haven't read the Constitution and it's way over their head, but they took an oath to it. Oh, God, these guys are amazing. They could be, if they did the job properly and quit the lying, cheating, and stealing, especially at the Oregon State Police level. You guys got to come clean with this stuff. You cannot legislate away the Oregon State Police killed Robert Lavoy Finicum. You can't legislate that away. That has to come out. That has to be caveat to will, probate in open court. Caveat to will. We will make an exception. We will go out of our way for the will. Now, when you look in the dictionary, Bouvier 6, and you read will, it takes a half a page to say what will is. And probate, people think they know what probate is, but they only know a little bit about it. And open court. Open court does not mean a judge is sitting on a bench. A judge is a judge. A court is 3 tribunals and a clerk. That's a court. Courts judge the law, not judges, not members of the Oregon State Bar. Courts judge the law. And juries determine the facts. In law, common law, and equity. And that's all we deal in. We are not in commerce. This is not maritime law. This is about us, not corporations. The contract is us, me and you, that realize who we are and know and can support it. Those, loosely known as the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, and others of our ilk, we're not exclusive. That bunch is the provisional government, Article 1, Section 1. The bunch in Salem is still made up of a great many of the 89 that violated their oath and locked us out. Mike Newman let us in, and they threw him out of the club. He embarrassed them. That 89 broke their oath. They have no honor. They can't serve. They've already proven it. One of them is running for governor now. Another one is governor. Governor of the de facto state of Oregon, aka all caps Oregon. The Portland, Salem, Eugene, Medford corridor. That's what we're dealing with. and the Oregon State Police, appointed by Tina Casey Cotting. Yeah. And the General of the National Guard, appointed by Tina who led the 89 in breaking their oath and having no honor. That one. That's who you're following? That's who's making the rules, huh? The Oregon Revised Statutes. That's not how it's supposed to be, folks. How do you get there from here? You have to do it yourself. Nobody can do it for you. And we can't do it alone. I yield.
Hi, I'm Eric Dover with the Oregon Statewide Journal Assembly, and I have some messages for the Oregon sheriffs. Where are sheriffs? Our Article 3, Amendment 7 Civilian Common Law Court of Record has made numerous visits and relentless communications to our county sheriffs on Oregon. Why? Because our sheriffs are our first protection against governance overreach. It is our county sheriffs that should be there to assist seniors to prevent their eviction from their home and all they possess. It should be our county sheriffs who protect and defend the people from a corrupt court system, rather than ticketing them or supporting the illegitimate amended Article 7 courts. Our sheriffs seem to be avoiding any engagement with us, the people reaching out for a conversation about their refusal to see us. Contact requests are met with cricket sounds. Where are sheriffs? It is significant that they take a proper oath to the Constitution, circa 1859, with its original jurisdiction, that is, to the people rather than to a corporation, to our Creator, that is, with God included. Such a dejuration, an oath, is needed for there to be remedy in our system of governance. Let's get this ball rolling. It just takes one of you to make a difference, to get it started, to assist in awakening your colleagues in sheriffdom. Let it be so.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, "Just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me." And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I fought. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.